Hey, it's me again. I was going to finish the video. The other one cut off because it got too hot in my car. So I thought I'd come back inside my temporary home and finish the video. What I was wanting to talk about now was the unimaginable heat that's inside the warehouses. On the first floor, there are no fans whatsoever on the first floor. We have to rely from whatever type of air circulation there is going on. Now, they have these huge industrial fans, big fans that you can roll around. But guess what? Those are for the maintenance workers inside their little cage. 9 times out of 10, those maintenance workers are not inside that little cage, and that fan is just blowing directly at them on their desk. The workers, we have a fan about the size of probably a rim that goes on a car, maybe like a 20-inch rim or a 19-inch rim, and they're up on the ceiling. Well, let's just say, let me see if I can explain this. If the station is right here, okay, the fan is back here. We're facing that way, and the fan is back here facing this way, going down the aisle where everybody walks. They're not facing at the employees. And on top of that, some of the ladders don't work. We have to like pull them real hard to get them to roll back and forth because the people that they've hired to clean up Amazon, the cleaning crew or whatever, they don't ever go around the stations and clean up the where the brush guards are at or where we walk on our station. If they do, I've never seen it. Let me just make that clear. I have never seen it happen. Most of the time when I get to my station, the first thing I do is I check the, the station is elevated, so you have to take 1-2 steps up to get onto the station. And so they have these rubber mats that are on the station too to kind of give us a little bit of cushion. Some of them are tore up. Some of them are pulled apart from the station. They're not even. I mean, it's hard to, like, when you're walking, like, you can literally trip on that. And then, the, ladders, they don't want to roll back and forth because I don't know what's caught up in them roller things, but they just get stuck and they don't want to roll back and forth. And then the brush guard is something else that we desperately need because, like I said, we have to walk up 2 steps. So whenever you get to the end of your station, then that's where the pod comes. And it's probably about a foot and a half drop onto the Kiva floor. Well, we're not allowed to even reach over to where the Kiva floor is at. If something falls onto the floor, we can't get it. We'll get in trouble. We'll get rode up and possibly fired because they have little tape all around Amazon, all different color tapes, like red, yellow and black, green, all different kinds of tapes. And you're only allowed to reach over or step into certain areas that are taped off. But on like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor, you know, it gets higher towards the ceiling. And like I said, the fans just point down the aisle where people walk to get to their station. We don't have any fans pointing at us. So if it's 100 degrees outside, you can only imagine how hot it is inside that warehouse. And they keep talking about stay hydrated, drink more water. If you feel like your blood sugar's getting low, then grab you something to eat. But we're not allowed to eat at our station. See, that's a catch right there. Number two, we can't just walk off whenever we want to and go sit down in the cafeteria and get something to eat if we want to. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly. Because then you know what's gonna happen? We're gonna have TOT time. And then you know what happens after that? We get rode up. So, I think that there's got to be some significant changes. We don't need any more broke stools. Nope, don't need them. That's a good way for somebody to get hurt. I've seen people sitting on totes because there's not enough stools. I'm talking one of them yellow totes. You just flip it upside down. They're sitting on it. The stools are broke. The carts all have cracks in them. And, we don't have any fans. So, I never dreamed that my first job ever working in a warehouse, especially the most well-known, richest warehouse in the world, was going to be like this. This has been the absolute worst experience of my whole entire life. I wouldn't recommend this job to nobody. Seriously, I would not. Base pay is $12 an hour. The only way you're ever going to get any extra money is if you work nights and weekends. You get an extra 50 cents for nights and an extra 50 cents for weekends. And that's why I chose the Saturday through Tuesday shift. Well, let me tell you. It's probably been the worst experience of my whole entire life. Really, it has been. I would not be injured. My back wouldn't be out. Even sitting right here right now, my back is killing me. And all night, my job consists of sitting on the stool, bending over between my legs, counting whatever bin is down there, which is A, sitting back up, and getting up on the ladder, which is 1, 2, 3 steps onto the ladder, and counting whatever is way above my head. I'm only 5'5". Counting the pod that's on top, which is usually like a J or H or whatever it is. Coming down off the ladder, sitting back down on the stool, counting again. I can't squat down because it hurts my back. And getting down on my knees, yeah, that ain't gonna fly. No, not this old girl. So, that's what our job consists of. And then going outside, okay, if we're on the 4th floor, we have to either ride the elevator down. Well, first, it just depends on where we're at on the 4th floor. If we're in the very back corner of the warehouse that's nowhere near a door, then we have to walk all the way around, get on the elevator, go down, then walk to the front door, and then go out for our little... It's supposed to be a 15-minute break. By the time you do all that, you are lucky if you literally have 5 to 7 minutes to sit down and just kind of decompress, from your day or the last couple hours, till you got to jump back up and walk as fast as you can with everybody else that's coming back in and go back to your station. Now, in that 15 minutes, you are supposed to use the bathroom, refill your water, and whatever else you do for the 15 minutes. But how it works is it's scan to scan. So if I scan my last item, my last bin at, let's say, 9 o'clock, I have till exactly 9:15 to come back from my break to do another scan. Because anything over that 15 minutes is TOT time. Now, see, what I learned after doing some research on Amazon is that these managers, they carry around these laptops, and they make notes in these laptops about each employee. Good or bad, we don't even know they're writing this stuff. They can write whatever they want. So it's kind of like leaving an electronic trail of an employee, and we don't even know what they're writing about us. Another thing, when we have TOT time, let's just say I went to the bathroom on a non-scheduled break, because we are only allowed to go to the first break, then to lunch, and then our last break. Bathroom breaks also are included in those 3 scheduled breaks. But what I was told is we are only allowed 3 other breaks, just bathroom breaks, not go outside, not do anything else, but you are allowed 3 extra breaks to go to the bathroom that they can code themselves. Well, on the computer, every time, your time is tracked from the time you walk in that building until the time you clock out. So, say like, I'll just give you an example. When I clock in, if I have something that I need to talk to HR about, I go straight to HR. And sometimes I clock in before it's time for stand-up at the beginning of the shift, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes till, and then I'm in HR. And when I come back to find me a station, or even find my manager for that, I have to tell them, hey, I was in HR. But see, you have to clock in at HR too. You have to clock in at AmCare. They want your time tracked every second you're in that building. Now, they have codes that are for TOT time. Like, they're different colors, and they can go in and code your time. They can go in and change our time with whatever they want to change it to, and we don't even know. They could say that we had 20 minutes of TOT time, and we would be none the wiser, because they can go in and change our time. And I don't even see how that is even legal to do that. I mean, like, I understand that they need to track productivity and, people's rate, make sure they're not goofing off and stuff like that. But with me having a bad back, I cannot keep up with the rate that they want me to. They want me to count 600 units per hour. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, I can count 600 pieces in 15 minutes. What are you complaining about? You don't understand. We have to wait for the pod to come to us. We have to scan the pod. And then we have to, once we count whatever items in there, it may be one item. We may go through, actually, no lie, 600 pods in 1 hour. 600 bins that are passing in front of us in an hour just to meet rate. Now, if the product is not being ordered, then that cuts our productivity down, because then let's say you have 45 counters on a mod. Well, they don't need 45 counters if there's not a lot of work. So they VTO most of us. Guess what? We go home without any pay because there's no work to do. So then what happens is then our paychecks suck. And then we wasted all that gas driving there and back. Me, I drive 60 miles round trip. So, I mean, it sucks, you know, to drive to work just for them to tell us that they don't need us, and then drive all the way back home, knowing that my last paycheck was only $200. No lie, $200. And like I said, out of my $200, I had to give the trailer park, the RV park where I live at, $50. And I paid, I bought tags for my car, my phone, and a little bit of food. It was gone. It was gone that fast. And you know, I asked my manager, I said, how come y'all don't have a program here that helps employees? You know, people that don't have any food, people that don't have gas to get to work. We don't want your swag bucks to spend on your merchandise that has your name on it. We need something that's going to help us, because y'all aren't out anything. If you give us your little monopoly money, you're not out anything. You give us old t-shirts from last year's Prime Week or the year before that, and boom, guess what? We still ain't got no gas in our car, and we still don't have no food in our cabinets. So, I mean, I'm moving out anyway because, like I said, I'm being evicted. I'm $1,900 behind in rent, and this is my cabinet right here. I showed y'all on the first video. This is my cabinet right here. I got one thing of peaches. I got some Hormel beef tips and mashed potatoes. Those are really good, by the way, and they fill you up. I got one thing of popcorn and some coffee. Nothing up here. Nothing up here. I got some cereal, live cereal. I think my milk is out of date anyway. Yeah, it is. It's out of date. And it was out of date on the 20th. It stinks bad. And I got some lettuce, some pimento cheese, and some cheese and some eggs. And that's it. Oh, and some crackers. See my crackers? I love crackers. I mean, I'm going to have to love them. I don't really have a choice. But I just wanted to share with y'all what a day is like at Amazon. And let me tell you what. It's pretty strenuous. It's pretty strenuous. But, you know, my main complaint is my injury and how I was injured on their equipment and how they take no responsibility whatsoever for this. And they just expect me to, just come back to work and everything's going to be okay. What part of my back hurts don't you understand? Sorry for yelling. I'm just really agitated. But as you can see, I'm starting to pack up all my stuff. I've got some of it in the car, as you saw in the other video, and I got my suitcases in the trunk. So I hope that this has been an enlightened video for people who always wondered what it's like to work at Amazon. And I wish everybody the best of luck. And what I really want to do is I want the workers to unite. That's what I want. Nobody said form a union. We know that y'all are totally against unions. You preach that at every all-hands meeting. We know you don't want a union. But you know what? The reason why you don't want a union is because y'all don't want people to speak up like what I'm doing. I'm using my freedom of speech. Jeff Bezos, out there on your wall in front of HR, you have it wrote on the wall. Speak up. Be assertive. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm speaking up. I've spoke up for the last 8 months and nobody's listened to me. So guess what? Here I am. But, you know, another thing that I wanted to bring up was they have so much wasted food in Amazon. They have an area that's called Damage Land. And in Damage Land is all the stuff that's broken. And if you look on the Amazon warehouse website or the Amazon.com or whatever, they have an area that sells damaged things. And there's a lot of food. I'm talking food that where the boxes are tore, or something sticky is on one of the packages, or say like if it's a 6-pack of ramen noodles and there's only 5 in there, it goes straight to Damage Land because they don't even know where that 6th one got off to. It's just gone. But anyway, and I suggested to my manager, why don't you take all that food and set it in the lunchroom for your employees to eat, instead of trying to sell us this high-priced food in there that you have a vendor that comes in and stocks up the refrigerator with Monster drinks and Cokes and sandwiches and TV dinners and stuff like that. That's a lot of food in Damage Land. I know, I've been over there. I've had to count it. Why don't you take all that food, Jeff? Jeffy, take that food and feed some of your hungry workers. Is that so hard to do? Are you that selfish that you cannot feed some of your workers? Do you know that there's people living in the parking lot? I know I'm not the only one that's fixing to be homeless or is homeless. I know people who have been homeless that lived in your parking lot at your DFW 7. Can you not set up a program to help your employees with finances? It's not because we don't know how to manage our money. It's because we don't have any money to manage. I mean, we know that you're living high on the hog. We know that. We read about, you get in a ballroom in your mansion and you have 25 rooms or 25 bathrooms or whatever. We know, we get it. You're rich. You're the world's richest man. But then you got people like us out there that are barely making it and wondering when their next meal is going to come. or where it's going to come from, or where your next shower is going to come from, or where you're going to lay your head down at night. Why don't you be fair to your workers? And you know what? As far as this facial recognition equipment, I don't support that one iota. I don't support you supporting ICE with that either. All you're doing is why would you want to give ICE facial recognition software to track people? Is it because you like tracking people? I mean, you track us from the time we walk in your door to the time we leave. We can't even pick our nose without somebody watching us. And then we have to go through your security on the way out. We have to take off our belts. We have to take off our shoes. We have to be wanded if it goes off. If the scanner goes off and it beeps that, hey, she's got some metal on her, let's scan her again. Well, you know what? I'm not raising my shirt up. So, I don't know what you expect. Me personally, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, you did a background check on all of us before you hired us, right? Oh yeah, you did. So, I mean, evidently, unless you just, hired a bunch of thieves, you know that none of us are thieves. We're not going to steal your product. Me having a criminal record isn't worth it. I would rather have a job and be able to do my job. I'm not a thief. So maybe you need to put a little more trust in your employees and listen to what they have to say before they rise up against you. What do you think? Because the word's getting out of how your warehouse is treating your warehouse workers, and it's not good. It's not good at all. But I'm going to go ahead and close up this video because it went a little longer than I wanted it to. But you can find me on Twitter under Shannon Allen. You can find me on Facebook under Shannon Allen. And lo and behold, there's a new DFW7 Twitter page. It's called Amazon DFW7 Unite. Thank y'all, and y'all have a great day. I'm going to go ahead and post up my GoFundMe page. I'm not really thinking that I'm going to get the money to, pay my rent off because I'm so far behind since being on workers' comp. And they ripped me out of the last month that I was on workers' comp. Plus, I had to wait. I'll explain it again in another video. But y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to y'all later.